What is up, you muffin munching muggles? Welcome to Fiction and Reality. The Mistfall Hunter demo just released, and everyone's wondering if this is the answer to saving the formulaic extraction shooter genre. Something where you're not just pop locking and dropping, but swinging and slinging. What's the story of Mistfall Hunters? Before we get into what sets the gameplay apart from the run-of-the-mill extraction shooter, let's give some background on the actual story surrounding the world of Mistfall Hunters, which is submerged in a dark fantasy world corrupted by the blood mist of fallen gods. In the age of corrosion, the gods fell. Their power-infused golden blood surged forward, boiling over to create the Gilden Mist that now ravages the land, a cataclysm known as the Mistfall. The arrival and disappearance of the Gilden Mist are entirely unpredictable, yet once it manifests, it spreads and blankets the earth in the blink of an eye, unleashing immense devastation upon all living things. Any living soul caught in the mist is overwhelmed by a violent tearing of their spirit, become completely Gildenized and twisting into mindless monstrosities. Under the ruinous weight of Mistfall, entire civilizations have been utterly obliterated, leaving behind nothing but scattered ruins across the world. Just as the gods prophesied, the soul fragments of the goddess of faith scattered across the land, manifesting as dew, a priestess who walks amongst mortals. He seeks those who cannot find death in this broken world, guiding them to hunt the corroded, harvest Gilden blood, and collect the divine blood spilled throughout the land. Dew prays that by gathering all the spilled divine blood, she can end the Mistfall and allow the world to be reborn. As we can see, opposed to other extraction shooters that relegate themselves to a militaristic theme, Mistfall Hunters is completely submerging itself in the grimy and depressing atmosphere of dark fantasy, in which you will find is heavily driven by PvE aspects in pursuing main quests with your own trio of Gilded Hunters and engaging the corrupted. Let me know your thoughts. There's a dark fantasy aspect of Mistfall Hunters paired with the extraction genre of PvE and PvP, sort of combining that experience. Will that save the formulaic dilution of the extraction shooter genre? Is this something you think you would pick up? Is Mistfall Hunters as Souls-like as they say? If you're a fan of Elden Ring and Dark Souls, or a victim of Stockholm Syndrome, Mistfall Hunters might just be the game you need to give the extraction genre a try. The world of Mistfall Hunter is marked with this grungy and sort of desolate aesthetic, enveloped with these twisted creatures corrupted by Gilden blood, which gives birth to numerous abominations, to put it nicely. I think the best part about Mistfall Hunters is that you get thrown into a ravaged world plagued by the Gilden Mist and aided by this sort of jovial shit-talking crow, who I'm sure wants you more dead than alive. Many players have been screaming for some time that they want a game that leans more heavily towards PvE. Mistfall Hunters is refreshing in its own right, as it largely deals with chains of quests encompassing a main storyline along with other objectives that might pop up when you embark on a journey to loot the environment, either solo or with a group of 3, all of course with the risk of encountering another group of players who you might fight and are trying to kick your ass and steal any of the loot you've gathered throughout the course by wiping out your entire team. And yes, I've encountered some people flickering around like some ungodly like beings who put my ass down like old Yeller alongside the rest of my team. A lot of people are labeling Mistfall Hunter as a dark Souls-like extraction-based experience, encompassing Soul-like elements that stretch from retrieving your soul after death to extreme difficult bosses. Though I personally say that the monsters and bosses you encounter are pretty painful to get through, and those difficulty elements are present within the environment, I've had my ass kicked enough in Elden Ring to know that the enemies themselves are nowhere near the difficulty of Dark Souls enemies or bosses, it seems. At least not this early in the game, which of course will likely change as we see progressions of updates roll out by the developers and other fine-tuning. But that's not to say they aren't a damn headache to maneuver around, and you will die, especially if you're doing this solo. A lot of the battles you encounter on your Mistfall Hunter journey follow a cyclical chain of attacks that I personally found pretty easy to dodge and counter, especially when your own personal squad is running alongside you to take down the enemy. That being said, as you level up and go into more dangerous regions of the game, difficulty amps up quite considerably when you engage these enemies, especially in solo runs where you can get your crap absolutely whacked and no cocoa butter. Let me know in the comments below, will you be playing Mistfall Hunters based on the Dark Souls-like elements alone, plunging through the world and cutting down enemies together with your friends, then looting rare chests or valuables while preparing to defend against another group of players, eyeing your stash? Hey, just a quick message. I just launched my Patreon. If you want to support the channel and my creative endeavors so that I can invest back into you, head over to Fiction and Reality on Patreon, linked down below. Depending on the tier, you'll get early viewing privileges to videos before they're uploaded on YouTube, plus the full scripts and essays behind them, exclusive video essays, your name in the credits, and exclusive Discord access when it launches. In some instances, all for the low price of $4. So what are you muggles waiting for? Sign up using the Patreon link in the description below. Are you wondering what happens in a full gameplay loop of Mistfall Hunters? So let's find out. We start off by walking up to Sokja, this absolute shit-talking guiding white crow, who, as I said, might be happier to see you buried in the grave rather than alive. After managing your loadout, you'll then explore in the world of Hologrove or other environments by yourself if you have no friends, loser, or with a group of 3. You're then thrown into a dreaded world that'll shiver your timbers with some of the most corrupted creatures you've ever seen. When you spawn into Hologrove, you're then met with a slew of objectives that you can mark on the map for your team to pursue in exchange for some hefty or rare rewards. Fighting through to the objective you marked, especially where there's chests, usually encompasses fighting through a horde of enemies and a guardian monster with the aid of your allies in order to acquire rare loot. There are other monsters, of course, who can be found roaming about and might take a heap of swinging and twanging to drop. During any part of your unique Mistfall Hunter experience, you can potentially get jumped into a gang of your choosing and effectively lose everything you've looted after getting outmatched in PvP by another group of guild hunters. Fun stuff, really. On the other hand, if you're the one kicking ass, well then crank on that execution button, baby. When you're all loaded up on the goop, then find the nearest extraction point on your map, ring that chime, and use this stairway of light to escape before the gilded mist floods into you and corrupts you and ends your pilfering journey prematurely. Let me know in the comments below. Are you more of a loot and extract player who plays it safe? Or are you the type hunting other guild hunters for the thrill of taking everything they worked for? The way you extract from Mistfall Hunters is kind of funny in my opinion. You push through this grungy, dreaded world fighting these dank tank engines of bosses, survive catching a friendly fade with your nearest ops, then you're made to have to ring the chime in order to summon this creature called the Returner Woodling. After following the visual effects tracking its location where it spawns, and you have to just repeatedly bonk this little gremlin thing over the head over and over and over and over again. Kind of like the like button, you know, if you're enjoying the video. Over and over and over till he's taking a dirt nap, which then spawns your portal to escape. I mean, games like Arc Raiders involve entering the bunker and summoning the lift back to Speranza, but what do you think of the extraction mechanism in Mistfall Hunters and having to absolutely badonka-donk a small midget-like creature who undoubtedly has some perhaps disabilities about himself? Doesn't phase me personally as long as I know I'm getting my get back and returning from the slam out session with the bag secure. After your Mistfall Hunter run, you will return to the camp where you're met with a slew of vendors, some of which you'll acquire along your journey to Hologrove. Some of these vendors, of course, offer armor and potions for you to acquire to bolster your defenses before returning to forge through the Gilded Mist and prepare you to whack the ops that are trying to step to you and pocket watch. Even the vendors are connected to some of the main quests, such as Dram, who you'll save on a mission, but who lacks sort of these soul fragments and cannot completely pass over to the other side, and thus becomes trapped in the world as a wandering soul. You can use the skill points you gain to unlock new skills of your choice, or talents or abilities through any section of the game. And of course, work out the messiful magic of organizing your crazy looking inventory. Something else I thought was pretty cool, by the way, you'll find this vendor named Pip, and beside him Twig, who is actually able to go out and seek resources you need from different sections of the dreadful world. You'll find Dew somewhere near this webbing threading of light, who, according to the lore, is the remnant of the goddess of fate's soul, joining as one. Dew can impart a blessing on you upon leveling up to bolster your strength even further past its baseline, or even switch your classes. Whereas other extraction genre type games lack any true means of distinguishing one playstyle from another, Mistfall Hunters actually comes with its own set of classes, each one uniquely different from the other. You've got the mercenary class running adept with sword and shield, sorcerers of course, who have their expertise sown in ranged magical attacks, black arrows that excel at range combat with their bow and arrows. I've personally been done in by quite a few of them. The shadow strakes who have mastery in using their daggers and poisons and look like very cool ninjas. The Seer, who are devout followers of the goddess of light and specialize in healing. My personal favorite, the Withered Knight, who wields a huge-ass greatsword and deals massive damage. Each class comes with a unique skill tree of their own, which after earning XP by embarking on missions and returning safely, will grant you the opportunity to be blessed by Dew to increase your strength even more. I think the introduction of niche classes will honestly be quite welcome, as within Mistfall Hunters you do engage different types of enemies and bosses within the world, some more up close and personal in combat while others strike afar from the distance. There is a more niche tactical element that you usually don't see in other extraction type games that leans heavily towards the track of those who prefer the PvE aspect of gaming versus a solely restricted PvP experience where players are simply thrown into a gauntlet and stripping other players of their loot once you encounter them. Let me know in the comments below what you think about Mistfall Hunters' introduction of a class system within the extraction genre. Would you prefer the usual framework where players are without a skill tree to progress, or specific roles that divide the responsibilities of players and force a tactical approach on the world via the utilities they've been granted. What do you think of Mistfall Hunters in general? In a world of formulaic extraction shooters that are heavily saturated, is this finally a PvE extraction game you'd actually give a try? Don't forget to join our Discord link below. Great sense of community and vent in the gaming channel there about what this means to you. You can also follow my IG page at LVamps23 and other socials in the link below. If you want more analysis of your favorite fictional characters, fictional worlds, go ahead and smash that like button below, turn on that notification bell, and subscribe for more. The direction of progress is forward, and it's only up from here. With that, remember, if you're ever lost in a forestry of words, strip your mind from fantasy and look to the window of the world, and there your mind will run free.